A new political poll shows support for the Labour Party has taken a dive while the ACT Party and its leader is growing in popularity. The latest News Hub Reid research poll has Labour down 9.7 points to 43%, while the National Party is up 1.7 points to 28.7. The ACT Party scored its highest rating, but its leader David Seymour insists National won't be left behind. Our political reporter Annika Smith has more.
The latest News Hub Reid research poll shows support for Labour has slipped down nearly 10 points to 43%, while ACT and National are on the up. The ACT Party scored its highest ever Reid research rating, up 4.2 points to 11.1% of the vote. Its leader David Seymour says Labour's loss is ACT and National's gain.
The real story of this poll is both ACT and National rising. I believe that's due to disillusionment with the government's performance on substantial issues, being housing, COVID recovery and law and order on the streets.
The National Party still sits a clear second place in the poll, up 1.7 points to 28.7%. And while the boost is less than half that of ACT's, its leader, Judith Collins, is happy with the results. She says far from vote splitting, ACT's results are a good thing for National.
ACT coming up is ultimately good for National because we're also going up, so it's not as though it's taking votes off us. So that's good, and what I see is that means that there is certainly, if we can both keep going in that direction, then that will be very good and give us a very good chance for the next election.
The Labour Party is down 9.7 points to 43%. On these numbers, it could no longer govern alone and would need the Green Party, up 1.4 points to 8.5%, to form a government. Its leader, James Shaw, says it shows the 2020 election that saw Labour form the first majority government in the MMP era as an outlier.
Is more of a reversion to normality and we would be very pleased to be able to form a government with Labour after the next election.
ACT leader David Seymour is just as keen to join forces with National, pitching the parties have 2 years until the next election to close a 10-point gap.
I think it's very clear that with both ACT and National increasing in this poll, it's not an either-or, but an and. And the net result is a serious proposition for the voters, not only to have a change of government, but with ACT, a change of direction.
Judith Collins is batting away suggestions of any future leadership struggles, given Mr Seymour's rivalling popularity. The Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, is still the clear leader in the preferred Prime Minister rankings, down 2.6 points to 45.5%. But David Seymour has now passed National's leader. The News Hub Reid research poll has the ACT leader in second place, up 3 points to 8.6%, with Judith Collins a whisker behind at 8.2%. She says she's not concerned.
No, it makes no difference at all. The fact is that the National Party is around 3 times the size of ACT, and that's the way it normally works. I've also well remember the days, that's just silly stuff coming out of News Hub. I well remember the days when Winston Peters was significantly more popular as Prime Minister than Jim Bolger. It just doesn't work like that.
RNZ called New Zealand First leader Winston Peters about the poll. He said he hadn't watched the news and didn't care to know his party had got 3.4% in the poll.